be wondering, why am I talking about the LS60 Wireless again? Because even months later, it still feels like one of the most future-proof, all-in-one hi-fi systems that you can bring into a space. So today, let's dive into what makes this system so special and whether this is the one you should invest in when you're looking for hi-fi wireless audio that just works without any fuss. We'll also pair it with the KC62 subwoofer because sometimes you want that extra bass reach without complicating everything. So let's go. When I first walked into a room with these LS60s, what really hit me is how little gear you see. These were in two big towers, plus an external amp, plus a streamer, plus a bunch of boxes. Everything is built in. Amplification, streaming, driver systems. And this kind of simplicity is gold when you want your living room to feel lived in, not lab in a box. Their cabinet is slim, elegant, and doesn't scream audiophile gear. Also, minimalism does not mean compromise here. It's just that these speakers let the room and the music breathe without demanding to be the center of attention. Now let's talk about sound signature and driver layout. Each LS60 has a Uni-Q driver array combined with four 5.25-inch Uni-Core force-cancelling woofers. That multi-driver arrangement gives the benefit of serious performance. But what I want to highlight here is the notion of thickness of sound and why you want to avoid too much of it. By thickness, I'm referring to overly heavy, mushy bass or mid-bass that starts to fog detail, where you can hear power, for sure, but starts to lose separation, timing, and a sense of layering. If the drivers or cabinet design aren't tight, you will feel a meat basket kind of bass. And these LS60s do not go down that route. They give you a warm, transparent band where you feel the weight where you should, but do not lose out on clarity. So to put it simply, the drivers hit deep when needed, but the moment you switch it to something more delicate, like a piano, a voice, or a solo guitar, you still get the air, the microdynamics, and the spaces in the music. And the result? Sound that's warm, inviting, revealing, rather than fat and sloppy. One important note, the LS60 Wireless is active, meaning each speaker has its own built-in amplification and DAC or streaming electronics. It's not a passive speaker that waits for an external amplifier. And this is a major advantage in this category. Because the LS60s are active, it means that you don't have to spend a lot of time worrying about matching amps, impedance, cable routing, and power. And the wireless part means that streaming and inter-speaker link are built in. Copying KEF's spec, you get a network of up to 24-bit by 384 kHz, HDMI, USB, eARC, and so on. And from a user's point of view, setup, app, calibrate, play. No external boxes unless you really want them. And that is the beauty of the world of hi-fi. So what does this driver architecture buy you in terms of experience? Well, here's how I see it. The LS60 uses what KEF calls a Uni-Q technology, which means that the drivers are arranged to behave acoustically as a point source. What that translates to is very cleanly separated musical layers. You can hear the lead vocal, the rhythm guitar, the ambient reverb behind it, the bass foundation, and none of them seem to be fighting with each other or merging into a blob. The sweet spot is more generous. Because of the driver layout and dispersion, you're less confined to one narrow seat. The point source effect means that the sound seems to originate from the correct place, giving you a better spatial image. So this means that it doesn't feel like a wall of sound is coming at you, rather the performance is happening right in front of you. Because the speaker isn't overemphasizing the oomph, you get the clarity through the mid and treble so that the detail is preserved at higher volumes. So in short, you get the punch, you get the depth, even without losing the precision. Now let's talk about the setup and app experience, which might be more relevant to people thinking I want hi-fi but not hassle. So the KEF Connect app gives you two modes for tuning, which is normal as well as expert. Okay, so let's bring in the subwoofer KC62. Even though LS60s by themselves go pretty low, spec sheet says around 31 Hz. Now you may ask, why add a sub? Well, here are the reasons. Adding the KC62 gives you more reach in terms of bass extension and authority, especially in the case of room filling and deep bass moments. The KC62 uses twin 6.5 inches Uni-Core force-cancelling drivers, Class D amplification, very compact form, so you don't need a gigantic floor area for big bass. Integration is simple. You set the sub's gain to midpoint and let the DSP handle the rest. This means minimal tweaking to get the synergy right. When the sub joins the LS60, you'll hear the lower octaves with more body and more room shaking if you like, but maintain clarity and speed. and the bass does not blur with the mid-range, and at the same time, the layering remains intact. So in short, if you want that extra depth without turning your room into a subwoofer graveyard, then this pairing makes sense. So who is the system really for? Well, here's how I'd frame it. Someone who really cares about the audio quality but does not want the complexities of separates. And someone who wants minimalist footprint, minimal setup, but maximum listening enjoyment. And someone who's future-minded with high-resolution streaming, wireless connectivity built in, and a system that will not feel obsolete in a few years. Now, what you should consider is the room size, because these are floor-standing speakers, then the budget, because these fall under the high-end terrain, and whether you want the convenience of complete wireless system or whether you're willing to live with cables for separates. That is, if you were to compare with others. Also, if you're very sub-sensitive, which means you love deep bars and your room is very large, you might have to consider having multiple subs or a different placement. So in short, yes, if you match the room plus the use case, then this system is definitely worth considering. So that's the lowdown on the LS60 Wireless and how pairing it with the KC62 subwoofer takes it to a whole different level. So if you're looking for hi-fi wireless audio that feels premium, is easy to live with, and delivers both heart and detail, then this system definitely ticks a lot of boxes. If you liked this, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment, because I would love to know what room size you're working with. And if you would like to see more content like this, do subscribe to our channel, and I will see you next time. Until then, happy listening.